My fiancée took my design project and handed it to her college senior just to help him win the competition. When I confronted her, she was completely unfazed. "You're really talented," she said. "You can easily come up with another design. This competition is really important for David. Don't be so dramatic." Right there and then, I decided to withdraw from the competition and went home to take over my family's business. My fiancé, who accused me of being immature, began to panic. "Jason, don't be like this. Design is your lifelong passion. Are you really just going to give it all up?" The senior who stole my design also panicked. "This design is your heart and soul. Can you really afford to give up at such a crucial moment?" I hung up the phone, unaffected. My fiancée had no idea that this design was the blueprint for a new project her family's company was supposed to take on. I'm looking forward to seeing how her senior handles this without my help. In front of everyone, David accused me of being a plagiarizer who stole his design. I wanted to explain, but my fiancée Molly stepped in instead. "Jason, I understand your desire to win this competition, but plagiarism is shameful. You can't just take someone else's work and enter it in a contest." She looked sorrowful, as if I had committed some heinous crime. But only she and I know how many sleepless nights I put into that design, burning out several computers in the process. On the day before the deadline, she took my design while I was resting and gave it to her first love, hoping to help him win the gold medal in the competition. Everyone saw us as the golden couple, so naturally, no one would question her words. With everyone pointing fingers at me, I was shaking with anger. Molly apologized on my behalf. "I'm sorry. I never thought Jason would do such a thing. As his fiancée, I feel obligated to apologize to everyone. I hope you can forgive Jason for the sake of old schoolmate friendships." My heart was pounding, nearly causing me to have a heart attack. Molly urged me to apologize to David. Seeing his smug expression, I shook off Molly's hand. "I won't apologize because I never plagiarized. But I won't be participating in this design competition anymore." Turning away, I left the Design Institute. Behind me, Molly started to panic. She caught up to me, grabbing my arm. "Jason, design is your dream. You've been through so much for it. It's just a matter of plagiarism. If you sincerely apologize, we'll all welcome you back to continue competing." David chimed in pretentiously, "Yeah, Jason, I don't blame you. As long as you apologize, you can still compete." Looking at their hypocritical faces, I felt nothing but disgust. I shook off Molly and removed the Design Institute badge from my chest. No need. It's too shady here. I'd rather not trip over a stone hidden in the dark. Back at home, I packed up all my belongings. I even formatted the computers that had been with me for years. After finishing everything, my family called. "Jason, how's that competition you entered?" My eyes darkened as I told my mom on the other end, "I've dropped out." Before she could say more, I added, "I'm coming home." Her initial confusion switched to joy. Good. "Jason, you finally came around. I'll send the driver to pick you up right away." I nodded, hung up, feeling so relieved. My family's business wasn't weak, even stronger than Molly's family. But because Molly loved design, I gave up my original finance major and switched to design, sticking with it for 7 years. In those 7 years, from undergrad to PhD, I won one design award after another. Some projects that Molly's company won were thanks to my designs. I thought I gave everything to Molly, but in the end, I was repaid with betrayal. Taking a deep breath, I embraced my computer to return it to the Design Institute, only to find Molly blocking my path at the door. Seeing me, she was angry. "Jason, why don't you admit you copied David's design?" I almost laughed out loud and asked her back, "Why should I admit it? Molly, others might not know, but we live together. You know how many nights I spent and how much effort I put into this design. You know exactly how important this project is to me." I hadn't even finished speaking before Molly interrupted with anger. "Enough. You've already won so many awards. What if you miss one?" "Yes, I gave the design to David, so what? You're a recognized genius at the Institute. Just draw something new, and there will be a new design in no time. This competition is really important for David. Can't you stop being so petty? Petty. That word again. Over the years, I've heard Molly say I'm petty countless times. When a driver overcharged us double the fare, I reported it, and she said I was petty. When the institute took her scholarship spot, she cried red-eyed in front of me. I went to argue with the teacher, and she said I was petty. Now my painstakingly designed project was stolen by her to curry favor with someone else, and she said I was petty again. Yet, in every instance, she was the one benefiting. Feeling exhausted, I didn't want to say another word to Molly. I tried to bypass her to go to the Design Institute, but Molly blocked me again. Where are you going? The Design Institute, I replied honestly. Molly frowned deeply. Are you really giving up on this competition? What else? I asked her. Stay and work hard just to have my efforts taken by someone else? Clearly, that was exactly what Molly expected of me. She spoke up confidently. You can't just give up like this. Jason, I know what's going on at home. Without pursuing design, what will you do down the line? Stay and finish this competition, and afterwards, I'll get you a job at my dad's company. I felt like I was struck by lightning, standing there frozen. No wonder Molly was so confident. She'd figured I couldn't leave her. But she was wrong. I'm not the poor student she thinks I am, and even if I were, she couldn't just manipulate me like that. Thanks for the offer, but I refuse. After rejecting Molly's proposal, I was about to leave when she shouted at me. Jason, why are you so stubborn? Fine. If you dare to walk out that door, we're done. In 7 years, I'd heard Molly say she wanted to break up countless times. Every time, I was the one begging her to take me back. She acted like a princess, always ordering me around, never caring about my feelings. But this time, I was really tired. Sure, I agreed promptly, and then walked out the door with Molly looking shocked, caught a ride, and left. At the Design Institute, I turned in my computer. My mentor, Lily, seemed surprised. She adjusted her glasses and spoke in a somewhat exaggerated tone. Jason, I heard about what happened this morning. It's not a big deal. No one's blaming you. There's no need to resign over it. Lily's words sounded comforting. But I knew she had a hand in this too. I looked at her and spoke calmly. Lily, both David and I are your students. You know better than anyone our abilities. You should also know better whether I plagiarized. Lily's eyebrows furrowed. What are you implying? That I'm covering for David? Jason, you can lack some skills in design, but your character shouldn't be compromised. Behaving like this will get you nowhere in this field. I nodded in agreement. So I'm quitting. I'm done. Lily was furious, pointing at me, unable to say a word for a while. As I turned to leave, David and Molly appeared at the door. They overheard my conversation with Lily. David spoke fake sympathetically. Jason, plagiarism is plagiarism, but no one's blaming you. I've talked to Lily. We'll keep your plagiarism under wraps and let you participate in submitting the design project as an assistant. If we win an award, your name will be on it. How about that? David seemed so magnanimous. I almost wanted to applaud him if his project wasn't plagiarized from mine. I looked at his shameless face and spoke clearly. David, you've been in the design circle long enough to know that assistants aren't eligible for nominations in competitions, right? Especially in one of the highest profile design competitions, whose gold medal winner gains entry to the company headquarters, paving the way for a bright future. I don't care for an assistant position. I was just stating a fact. Molly jumped like a cat on a hot tin roof. Jason, what are you thinking? The project isn't yours in the first place. Do you think you can participate in the competition as the designer? David's giving you an assistant role as a concession. You're lucky to have it. Take it or leave it. If you walk out today, kiss your chances of finding any design-related job in City A goodbye. Lily squinted her eyes, threatening me. I have friends in the education sector too. Jason, with a record like yours, no school will take you. Yeah, David chimed in. If I recall, you're in a combined bachelor's, master's, PhD program, right? With a record like this, forget about the PhD. All those years of study are wasted. The three of them smirked, thinking I'd stick to the path they'd set for me. I looked at them and suddenly changed my mind. Fine, I'll agree. Molly's expression turned to delight, though she still feigned arrogance. That's better. Jason, work hard. I've already talked to my dad. After the competition, we'll get married, and I'll arrange for you to join my company. Lily also promised I'd graduate on time. Yet I didn't want any of it. With less than 24 hours until the deadline, I was forced to stay at the Design Institute, officially as an assistant, but I was really finalizing the remaining design work. To prevent me from tampering, David and Molly watched me almost around the clock. I could only sneak a glance at my mom's messages during bathroom breaks. Jason, what's going on? Why aren't you answering my calls? I texted her back. Mom, I'm dealing with something. I'll definitely be home tomorrow. With David and Molly breathing down my neck, I got the remaining plans done in half a day. But there was this little glitch in the 3D modeling I just couldn't fix. David was sweating bullets, and Molly kept calling me useless. I just kept a helpless look on my face the whole time. I've been sitting here all day. Even if I were a robot, I'd need to recharge. How about I go home, get some sleep, and come back in the morning to fix it? The competition's tomorrow afternoon, so we won't be holding anything up. But Molly wouldn't hear any of it. What if we don't make it in time? She said. Watching her fawn all over David had me laughing coldly inside. Then I faked a headache and passed out. They rushed me to the hospital and ran all kinds of tests. The doctor said I was just overworked and needed to rest. Hearing this, both Molly and David breathed a heavy sigh of relief. But when I didn't wake up, they had to spend the night at the hospital. Late at night, the two of them ended up getting cozy. I heard Molly whisper shyly, "Stop it. Jason's right there." David's voice was full of sleaze and desire. Doesn't that make it more exciting? Besides, I'm about to win the design gold medal. I'll be in the company HQ by then. What's Jason to me? Seemed like Molly bought what he was selling because soon they were all over each other, and I even heard that gross, slobbery sound. Trying not to gag, I quietly slipped out of the hospital while they were caught up in the moment. I called my driver and got out of City A, heading straight home. By the time Molly and David figured out I was gone and started desperately calling my phone, I was already on a plane homeward bound. Watching the caller ID flash on my phone, I turned it off, lounged back in my seat, and caught some well-needed Z's. When the morning sun hit my face, I was home safe. Mom had a whole feast waiting for me. The smell of it all made me realize I was finally home. I stuffed myself and then crashed on the soft, cozy bed, relishing in the rare relaxation. Back then, my relationship with Molly really strained things with my family. She spent money like there was no tomorrow. To keep up, I busted my butt sketching designs and barely had any me time over the past 7 years. Now I can finally do what I want. It feels amazing. Molly kept bombarding my phone with calls and texts. When she couldn't reach me, she began texting the same old stuff. Where did you go, Jason? Get back here. Stop messing around. Or I swear, I'm breaking up with you. I just sent back a TD, and the next second Molly called. My butterfingers accidentally hit answer and her yelling nearly blew out the speaker. What do you mean, Jason? Weren't we supposed to fix the bug this morning? Where the hell are you? Don't you know how much you're messing up things for David? I don't care where you are. You have 10 minutes to get back here or we're done. Listening to her rant, I just smiled a little and asked her, weren't we already done? From the moment you stole my design and gave it to David, we were finished. Molly, I'm officially breaking up with you. I was calm, like I was just talking about the weather, but Molly was stunned. After a pause, she raised her voice. Jason, are you breaking up with me? We just got engaged not long ago. I shot back, people get divorced all the time. Why can't we break off an engagement? Besides, your thing with David is going strong. You sure you want him to be your side piece? Molly flipped, calling me crazy and threatened to have Lily hold up my diploma and block me from working at her dad's company. I just laughed and sent her a pic of my family's big mansion. Look at this house, 3, 4 times bigger than yours. No diploma? Whatever. Like I care. As for a job, sorry, but I'm set to inherit the family business. No worker bee life for me. The competition was about to start, and David rushed to Molly, frantic to know what I'd do. Seeing her shake her head, he decided to wing it. Forget it, he said. It's just a bug, right? Won't mess up the competition. Jason, you'll pay for this. I'm not done with you today. Really? Can't wait to see how David plans to take me on. At 8 p.m., Mom called me downstairs to watch TV. When I turned it on, it was broadcasting the design competition. David was up there, all confident, showing off his peace bloom and harvest to the crowd. Mom stared at his design and her face scrunched up weirdly. She reached for the remote to change the channel, but I stopped her. Watch it, Mom. Why switch? But she just fumbled with her words, clearly off kilter. Finally, she asked, Jason, is there something going on at school? When I was working on Bloom and Harvest, I got stuck on this detail, secretly hit up the designer who had worked for my family back then for help. Turns out, Mom got wind of it and offered a bunch of design ideas for me to use as a reference. The relationship between my mom and me started to soften during that time. I knew there was no way I could hide it from her, so I just admitted it right away. My design was stolen. What? My mom practically exploded, not even looking at the TV as she leaped off the couch. Who did it? I'll call the committee right now and demand they cancel his entry. Stealing from my son. They're out of their mind. While my mom was fuming, I told her to calm down. Mom, don't trouble yourself. Soon enough, they'll face the consequences. My mom was skeptical, but I brought her a plate of freshly washed fruit. Trust me, Mom. When have I ever let you down? The live broadcast continued. As Spring Harvest was showcased, it grabbed everyone's attention. As the judges all showed approval, my mom was about to burst with anger even more. David sat up straight, relishing in the compliments. Until the presentation, that is. Confidently, he opened the 3D demonstration only to find the original model missing, replaced by bold letters. Plagiarism is shameful, in red with big exclamation marks. It shocked the entire audience. Everyone exchanged confused looks, unsure of what just happened. David was flustered, trying to shut down the presentation, but it was too late. The preset program began, detailing everything from design inspiration to concepts, which was totally different from what David had explained. But anyone could tell this was clearly more detailed than David's. David paled, trying to insist it was his unique display plan to stand out. But the judges aren't fools, especially after the presentation concluded with a question only the real creator could answer. They turned to David. You claim to be the author of Spring Harvest. Please answer the final question from the presentation. Holding the mic, David was sweating bullets, unable to respond. Seeing him like this, the committee announced on the spot that because of his suspected plagiarism, David was disqualified. I felt satisfied. My mom gave me a thumbs up. That's my son. Mom's gonna give you $1 million. Spend it however you want. I rushed off to the mall with the credit card she handed me. Being with Molly, I've been working like crazy on my designs to earn money. Today, I was definitely going to splurge. I tested out the latest sports cars and got myself a new wardrobe. Just when I was having the time of my life, Molly called, totally ruining the mood. I didn't answer, already knowing what she'd say, just chose to ignore her. But Molly, like a piece of gum stuck to a shoe, kept blowing up my phone, stopping me from paying. Helplessly, I blocked her. Finally, peace. For the next few days, I indulged. Bali one day, Venice the next, living it up. Even did bungee and skydiving, stuff I used to leave to Molly because I was stingy. And as I lay on a beach abroad, I thought, this is the life a rich kid ought to be living. I felt fulfilled. Molly and David weren't doing so well. Especially David, caught up in the plagiarism scandal, every morning waking up to harassment on whether he actually plagiarized. David was so overwhelmed that he couldn't sleep, visibly exhausted. Molly felt sorry for him, actively trying to clear his name. She shifted the blame to me in front of the media, claiming I was the one jealous of David and tampered with the presentation. David, trying to protect me from getting punished by the college, claimed the presentation was his work. A plagiarist exists, but it's Jason, not David. To back her claims, Molly even leaked an argument we had at the academy. With her guidance online, Many who didn't know the truth actually believed I was the thief, storming my social media to trash me. My accounts were flooded by justice seekers, and even my old dorm and home were attacked, vandalized with extreme threats. Mom was worried sick, but I just posted one thing on my socials: the answer to the question from the final presentation. Instantly, everything went silent. Molly, not giving up, kept ranting that I made it up. She used her engagement to me to further back up David. With this supposed title, Molly stirred up more chaos online, driving enough outrage to fill my comments section. That's when I got a verification call from the committee. After a brief conversation, they confirmed me as the rightful author of Spring Harvest. David, a definitive plagiarist. The trolls rushed into David's life, cursing out his ancestors. Under immense public pressure, the academy had no choice but to expel him. Even then, David couldn't find peace, with people following him, cursing him every day. I was satisfied with the outcome. Having had my fill of fun, I went to my mom's company to settle down. That's when Molly called, changed her number and caught me off guard, starting with a barrage of angry words. "Jason, happy now? Do you realize what you did to David? Stop hurting him or I'll never let you go." Her threats weren't new. I got annoyed. "You gonna stop me from graduating or keep me from finding a job?" "I told you I don't care. Do whatever with Lily. Just stay away from me. I don't need the negativity." With that, I hung up. Molly, still furious, texted more insults. Same old stuff, nothing new. To sum it up in one sentence: I will regret this. Haha, I'm already regretting it now. But not because of what I'm doing, but because I was blind back then. How could I have ended up with such an idiot? Thoughtfully, I blocked Molly's new number and headed into the CEO's office to start working. Honestly, being the boss feels way better than being a designer. Before, whenever anyone said jump, I would run myself ragged. Now, I finally get a taste of what it's like to be on the client side. But Molly's actions totally blew my mind. I imagined countless ways she might help whitewash David. Even marrying him and having the Lynn Group do some emergency PR crossed my mind. But this crazy woman took David's design proposal straight to her family's group and kicked off the project. I get her thinking, if the project gets off the ground, it would prove David's design is solid. Even if I have the committee's proof, it wouldn't completely shake off the suspicion of plagiarism. But reality isn't so rosy. I silently rejected the proposal, wanting to swallow Molly's company. I knew a big show was about to unfold in front of me. Molly was dead set on protecting David. She sank half her fortune into launching this new project and spent a lot on promotion. In less than 3 months, her new project wrapped up successfully. On the completion day, Molly even invited half the media from City A to cover it. She made an impressive speech. As fellow students, I know David's character and ability like no one else. He couldn't possibly plagiarize. I want to use this project to clearly show everyone that David's plan is feasible. He's no thief. It was quite the speech and I almost clapped. But I knew David was all talk and no substance. For a plan to turn into a real project, a designer's guidance is crucial. Molly's group's new project shouldn't succeed, and I waited for it to flop. But to my surprise, their new project passed the inspection. Baffled, I even looked over David's design plan repeatedly and checked with experts, same conclusion. Suddenly, David called to gloat. "Jason, so what if you tampered with the animation demonstration? With Molly on my side, you're never going to beat me. You broke loser. This world isn't something someone poor like you can ever understand. Not only will I clear my name, but I'll also have Molly and Lily crush you. Get ready to kiss your life goodbye." David's arrogance suddenly made a possibility occur to me. I secretly called in a tip to request a new inspection of her project. But before the results were even out, there was an accident at their new project. A company held a large event without approval and a section of the building collapsed, causing hundreds of casualties. The Lynn Group instantly became a trending topic. Molly quickly launched emergency PR, claiming the builder cut corners. But the builder was her own uncle. She had no choice but to change the blame to the materials supplier. Too bad that supplier happened to be a subsidiary of my mom's company. When it was clearly BS, I didn't let her off the hook. I immediately provided relevant proof, shutting Molly down instantly. Before she could find another excuse, the results of the inspection I requested came out. The Lin Group's new project had critical design flaws, unfit for construction. This time, no matter how Molly tried, she couldn't talk her way out of it. Facing an angry public, Molly's dad made the decision to pin it all on David. David got detained and might face the death penalty. Molly's pleas to her father were futile. Even her group got dragged into the mess. The stock dropped overnight. I seized the opportunity, bought most of the shares, and became the biggest stakeholder. In just a week, Molly's group had completely turned around. When I appeared at the new company's transition ceremony, Molly finally realized what was happening. She stormed up, pointing in my face and screaming, "It was you, Jason. You ruined David and crushed my dad's hard work. I won't let this go." She came at me like a madwoman, flailing her arms trying to claw at my face. But with layers of security around me, she couldn't get close. The other shareholders loudly told her off, telling her to stop causing trouble. Seeing former allies of her dad turn to support me left Molly devastated, cursing them for being heartless and ungrateful. The security grabbed her, ready to toss her out. But I stopped them and walked over to Molly myself. "I never harmed anyone. It was your own greed that did them in. Spring Harvest was always my work, yet you stole my design and gave it to David, passed it off as his for the competition. Sure, a design contest gold medal is important to David, but does that mean it's not important to me? You know exactly what I sacrificed and worked for. Molly, you destroyed David and our relationship by your own hand." Molly was speechless, then stubbornly insisted, "Lin's company is innocent. Jason, what right do you have to take it down? You destroyed my dad's life's work. Don't you even feel a pang of guilt? He saw you as a son-in-law, and you stabbed him in the back. How could you?" I threw a contract at her. "Do you know why your dad agreed to our engagement? It was because I promised that once I won the design gold, entered the company, I would design all of the group's projects for free. Molly, from the first day we got together, I was always planning for our future. But what about you? Between us, who betrayed whom?" Molly was speechless. The shareholders' meeting was about to start, so I had her escorted out. Molly's company officially merged with mine, and I came to the subsidiary to oversee things. I thought that would be the end of it. But a few days hadn't even passed before Molly showed up at the company, visibly pregnant, demanding I take responsibility. "Jason, I'm pregnant. Let's get married," she said. Seeing her act like it was the most natural thing in the world, I felt like I was dreaming. Took me a minute to find the words to tell her. "Whoever's baby it is, go find them. What do you want me for?" But Molly insisted the baby was mine, refusing to leave the lobby, and threatened to bash her head in if I didn't take responsibility. "Jason, you ruined my family. My dad ended up in the hospital because of you, but I'm not blaming you for it. Still, you can't deny this child I'm carrying. I've been with you for 7 years, we were engaged, you can't just walk away." I almost laughed at how ridiculous she sounded. Yeah, Molly and I had been together for 7 years and we were engaged. But ever since David showed up 3 years ago, she hadn't been close to me. Not to mention, she'd spent the past 6 months hanging around with David, and we hadn't even seen each other. With a stern face, I told Molly, "If you want to stay here, do it. But the kid isn't mine, so don't start spreading lies about me." But I underestimated Molly's tactics. She started a live stream right there in the company lobby. In tears, she accused me of not taking responsibility in front of countless viewers online. Jason pretended to be poor to get close to me, ruining my family. I don't blame him. I'm carrying his child and just want the kid to have a complete family. What did I do wrong? Her acting was top-notch, quickly gaining sympathy from online viewers. Everyone called me shameless. It even affected the company, causing the stock price to plummet. Tired of the chaos, I released a video from the night Jason was with David in the hospital. I urged Molly to go to the hospital for a paternity test. But Molly flat out refused. After some back and forth, the netizens saw Molly for who she really was, and no one wanted to support her anymore. Instead, they turned on her with nasty comments, telling her to stop embarrassing herself. With no other choice, Molly caused a scene at my company again. But this time I was ready and reported her to the police. Molly ended up in jail for defamation and, while resisting the verdict in court, attacked law enforcement, leading to a miscarriage. After leaving the hospital, she was taken into custody. Now she's facing the consequences of the law. Her father, already bedridden, couldn't take the news and passed away. A month later, David's sentencing came through. He was given the death penalty for endangering public safety. Thanks to his confession, my former mentor Lily was also jailed for academic fraud. Everything finally came to a close. I received a job offer from the sponsor of a design competition. They reviewed my past work and saw my unique talent in design, offering me a special position. But I didn't need it anymore. I built a skyscraper in City A, using spring blossoms, autumn fruits as the design blueprint. I added new concepts and replaced the original fake design to create a new landmark. I'm no longer in the design field, but everyone who visits the new landmark praises the genius of its designer. Looking at the new landmark, I'm content.